Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dave here with Go Gamers, and today we're going to be taking a look at this PS5 game console that's having Blu-ray drive issues. So let's go over to the workbench and see what we got. All right, so we got this PS5, and I gotta move it out the way, move this camera back a little bit. All right, so we got this PS5 game console. It's said to have Blu-ray drive issues. They are saying that there's a disc actually stuck inside of it. Now I'm gonna try to get a better camera angle over here. All right, so they believe that there's a disc stuck inside of here. So here's what we got going on right here, and this is a big console, so it's just hard to work around. So I just powered it on. I heard something inside the Blu-ray, like if it tried to click or something. All right, so it's doing the beep. I am going to attempt to put a disc in there. Oh, so it immediately just closed down on that disc and it didn't do anything about it. I'm going to press the eject button, see what it does. All right, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear it or not, but it was making like a loud clicking and clonking noise. So typically what something like that means is there's something obviously going on with the Blu-ray, but typically it would be like rollers or something like that. But I haven't worked on a PlayStation 5 console just yet. But if it has a similar design from the PlayStation 4 Blu-ray drive, typically something like that will usually be like maybe one of the rollers probably fell off, or maybe one of the gears is probably loose. It just needs to be retightened and reset. So this should be hopefully a fairly easy repair. So let's open this up and see what we got going on. All right, so this thing had a ton of unreasonable screws. I mean, this was crazy. It took a lot just to get down to this Blu-ray. They are definitely making sure that the average person doesn't get inside these game consoles and work on their own console. Now, I was kind of looking at this. You see how this spindle right here is over top of this piece right here? That's not supposed to be like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attempt to see how I can be able to maneuver it back in place, but I'm gonna get this top chassis off now. They thought it was a disc in here, but obviously there is no disc inside of this Blu-ray drive. So as you can see, these are the rollers. So sometimes what happens is these rollers are also come off track. And I'll also show you that right here, right now, just so you can see how something like that will work if I can actually get this off. So as you can see, and these rollers are a little bit different from the rollers that was on the PS4. It's kind of similar, but as you can tell, it has like a locking mechanism now. So that's actually a lot better because the old ones, that mechanism was not there, and it barely held onto the game console at all. So I saw a lot of those issues would occur with that Blu-ray where the rollers would just typically fall off. So hopefully the life of these rollers are a lot better than what they was on the PlayStation 4 game console. So I'll pop that back in there. All right, so we got those rollers back in there just fine. So it looks like what the issue is somehow, some way, this spindle is off. Or actually, I think the spindle is on the way it needs to be. So as you can see, this is how this piece right here operates it. So this will be the position it will be in if there is actually a disc inside of the PS5. When it ejects the disc, it scoops up your middle spindle. So that seems like that's actually working just fine. We have action. As you can see, it took in the disc. It struggled just a tad bit, but me moving that lever down seemed to have got it working. So let's see if it could do it again. If not, let's see what other thing it could be. There it is. It is now operational. I'm going to try one more time. Then I'm going to put it back together and make 100% sure. So just to recap, what I did was turn off that air compressor. So right here is a lever. Make sure this is all the way right here, because if it's anywhere on these teeth right here, that's as if there was a disc inside of the Blu-ray drive. Since there's no disc inside of there, you wanted to make sure it's all the way in this position with no disc inside of that Blu-ray drive. Also, another thing I did too, obviously I took off the rollers. I put the rollers back on. So hopefully that got everything reset. So that seems like it's working fine now. Now I'm just going to put it back together and see what we get. All right, so we got it all back together, and let's go ahead and turn this thing on. I'm gonna press the eject button just to see if it makes any noises or anything. All right, so that's working good. Now let's have our moment of truth. Took in the disc, and it's spinning the disc just fine now. Before, it wouldn't go in and wouldn't do anything. It would just sit there stuck. Now it takes in this disc 100% fine. So I'm just going to take out the disc, make sure it ejects just fine. I'm going to put it in one more time just to make 100% sure. As you can see, the light is white. And looks like we are good to go. I hear it spinning and everything sounds good. All right, so that's it on today's video. So once again, we got the Blu-ray drive repaired on this PlayStation 5 game console. This is a fairly easy repair. The most complicated thing is just taking apart this console and putting it back together. It is a lot of screws, so make sure you guys work on this yourself. Make sure you guys watch a disassembly video to make sure you're putting it together and taking it apart right. But besides that, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. Don't forget to make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel if you did like this video. But besides that, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.